So guys, what if Naruto was high school DxD and became the god of his world in Grafiya as slave movie? Raindrops dripped down from his white glowing hair to the soft ground, his jumpsuit and his now white haori glowing white like white fire, with small black symbols moving around. This was all thanks to the results of the battle between him and the rabbit goddess, Kaguya. He had finally sealed Kaguya and the 10-tailed beast not in the moon, but in himself to better protect it from anyone else. This led to him being turned into the new god of the ninja world. But this was all possible thanks to the sacrifice made by not only the Ninja Alliance, but also his best friend Sasuke, who gave him his eyes and the moon mark as a last gift. Looking at the ground, he wanted to cry for his best friend's sacrifice, but knew he had to keep himself strong for everyone. He knew Sasuke was now somewhere up there looking down on him like he always do, that bastard. He could also hear his longtime partner Kurama congratulating him for saving the world, and also to start releasing the people from the Just You. If he waited any longer, the people will be looking like melted marshmallows. This brought a small smile on his whiskered face with two fangs jutting out from his lips. He had yet to release everyone, since he was still planning on what to do with his newfound godhood. Thinking that he would just wing it, he brought his hands together, pumped some chakra into his hands and released everyone. But before he could go down and help the people, he suddenly vanished, and the last thing the people saw when waking up was a glowing white Naruto vanishing from the world. Where am I? Naruto looked around where he just got teleported. It was just a dark place with nothing close by. A void maybe? Naruto, an old wise voice called him from behind. Oh, old man sage. Naruto shouted with a big smile on his face, looking at the god of shinobi. I did it, old man. I saved the world, but am still sad at the cost. Yes, I saw everything, ma boy, but I was surprised you sealed them in yourself. Not only do you have my son's power flowing in you, but you also have the tailed beast and my mother's power in you, not to mention your own Uzumaki power flowing in you. You have greatly surpassed me in many ways. I was not really planning on getting their power. I just thought keeping them close to me would be better to prevent anyone from trying to steal them, but I was not expecting to be turned into a god. How am I going to be Hokage now? The old man just laughed softly. I don't know. You tell me what you're going to do. You are the god of this world after all. Besides, this means you are the Hokage of this whole world. What do you mean? I thought you were also the god of shinobi. Tell me what I should do. I'm lost on what to do with this new status. I wish I could help you, but I'm tired, and have pushed all my godly responsibility on you. I'm tired of this shit. I also want to spend some time with my family, without any god work, those blasted paperwork, and making sure the balance of the universe is okay. Finally, inner peace. The old sage released a breath. What do you mean by that? Naruto could almost feel all that work about to kill him, even when he's immortal now. Haha, you will find out soon. Let me just give you some information for your newfound godhood. The sage brought his two fingers on Naruto's head, and just like that, Naruto now started understanding his responsibility of the universes. At the end of the influx of information, Naruto looked like a zombie with a nosebleed. Mhhh, I think I broke him, the sage thought. Ah, my head hurts. Brings me old memories of that time I had a hangover after a drinking contest with bushy brows, he said, rubbing his head. Well, Naruto, good luck. The boobies await me. The old man started vanishing. Tch, pervert sage. The sage just grinned. A lot of powerful beings are perverts, Naruto. It won't take long for you to join the pervert league. As if I could join you. Nasty perverted people, all I see is virgin talk, the sage shot back. Huh. Am not. I did it with. Never mind, has already gone. Now what to do? I advise you to train for the time being. Kurama told him through their connected minds. You're right. This way, when someone like Madara comes again, I can easily crush them. Naruto's eyes then glowed, forming the Rinnegan. He then made a rift to open, which he then entered. Training, here we come. In another universe, DxD, the Great War. The war which was killing thousands of beings of the biblical functions. Everyone was beginning to see how the war was negatively affecting their sides. Azazel was already planning on withdrawing out, and he could say the same thing to his father, God, who was also losing a lot of his angels. For God, it was a little complicated as he needed to also fight against Trihexa, a very powerful being. God just wished his son, Lucifer, could stop this nonsense of war. At the underworld, Lucifer was not planning to stop the war anytime soon. His generals were already on his side. He couldn't say the same thing to the family pillars since they were pleading him that they were losing too many devils, as if Lucifer could care less. What he wanted was to kill his blasted father, take over heaven and earth, then the whole world. The god of the universe. That sounded good. Lucifer licked his lips. He was almost salivating at the thought. But at the last clash of the war, When he felt that he was going to win, some flaming bastard with small horns on his forehead came down from the sky, proclaiming that he was some god and was tired of watching lives getting lost and felt that it was time to stop it. No one really paid attention to him and were about to go on with the fighting, but that stopped when they heard the being saying kneel. Suddenly a heavy amount of power and killer intent made most of them kneel down to the ground, while others fainted to the pressure. To say a lot of them were surprised was an underestimate. This being was very powerful, some even thought he was some dragon. God and Azazel felt hope that this meaningless war was about to end now thanks to the new person coming in the battlefield, but God got even more shocked when his exiled son, Lucifer, attacked the powerful being. Azazel just looked at his foolish brother thinking he could fight whatever that flaming candle was. He then caressed his goatee, by Olden's beard indeed. Lucifer was very angry. Who was this person to come down here like he owned the place, and command everyone to stop like it was some joke? He was going to enjoy killing this bastard. He flew in the air using his wings to go attack the being with his sword and aimed for a slash. Surely this guy was not fast as him, but got surprised when the being vanished and reappeared behind him with a devastating chakra arm fist sending Lucifer crushing down on the floor hard. Lucifer could feel some of his bones were fractured and broken. He tried to get up but the being appeared next to him again and grabbed his neck, lifting him up like a sack of potatoes. Lucifer tried to break free from the hold but it was pointless. Who do you think you are? Am Lucifer, you peasant, and unhand me. Me, am iron, am Naruto, the ramen-loving god, and I don't give two shits who you are. But what I hate is the people like you, who find joy in the suffering of others and think only for themselves. You disgust me. I will kill you. Once I'm free from this hold, you bastard. He tried to struggle more but he just humiliated himself more. And what are you all looking? Kill this bastard, Lucifer shouted at his generals. The devil generals forced themselves up and tried to go save the leader, but were halted in their path when white chains came out of the ground and impaired all the generals who thought it was wise to attack him. Their bodies slowly turned to dust. The being them looked at everyone, daring anyone stupid enough to attack him. From this day on, marks the end of the Great War. I have been watching this stupid war for a while and have decided to end this on my own. And for you, Emo-san, what do you have to say for yourself? Naruto looked at Lucifer while putting a little pressure on the hold. Fuck you. Lucifer just spat on Naruto's face, the spit though just evaporated before reaching his face. I guess I should kill you, no, but before he could do anything. Wait. A white-haired old man with a goatee and gold armor came. You must be that biblical god. Yes, I am. Please don't kill my son. And who are you? I never heard there was a being such as you. He raised his eyebrow. Like I said, just call me Naruto. I have too many titles which I rather not exhaust myself telling you about. I have been watching your world in the shadows for a while. Well, I'm glad you helped stop this war. There was too much bloodshed. Now Mr. Naruto, could you please hand over my son? I know he has done a lot of bad things and I wish that I be the one to punish him, he told the ramen-loving god. Naruto looked at God thinking if he should hand over Lucifer. He then just tossed Lucifer into a portal he opened. I will hand him over until your little pet is done. I have already have too much stuff to do, you know. Right, I almost forgot. God then released his 12 golden-colored wings and looked at his angels. The war is over, my children. Go back home, I have something I have to deal with. You should do the same thing, Azazel, he said, the last part looking at his fallen child. That goes for you too. The show is over, Naruto shouted at the devil side. Mr. Naruto, it would be great if you could help me defeat Trihexa. I guess I have to do this. Both Naruto and God then vanished to go defeat the Trihexa beast. Well, that was something, Michael said looking at the spot his father and the mysterious god just vanished on. I need a drink for this shit, and Azazel shouted out, getting ready to get the hell out of this place. The devils just looked lost on what they should do. They just lost their leader and some of their generals. Then a really unworldly beautiful woman wearing black tight armor and having silver shining hair, gold shining eyes and red ruby lips stepped out with her white angel wings. This was Lilith, the queen of the underworld. My people, I know that it's very saddening that we lost our leader, but it was for the best since we were losing too many of our loved ones. Let's take this as chance to rebuild ourselves and become great again, and not to be run by a mind which is full of darkness that will lead to the fall of our kind. No more wars. Who's with me? Then a man with red hair and black gold armor stepped out and stood next to Lilith. People, let's join our queen for better cause than our past leader, the man shouted to his people like the woman next to her. Thank you, Zeoticus, Lilith thanked the man next to her. Then one by one, the leaders of the family pillars joined her by her side, which led the other devils cheering in joy, but amongst them some were still mad at this whole fiasco. The void, how much longer, old man? Naruto shouted, tossing mini Bijudamas at Trihexa, which was pushed back again by the blast. Just a few seconds. The old man responded, gritting his teeth while playing with hologram-like seals around his arms. Done. Now hold the beast. I will seal it. God then flew up higher to look down on the beast. Okay. Naruto then made chakra chains from his back which flew to the beast, holding it down in place. Thanks. God then released his seals on the beast, making it cry out loud and getting sealed inside the void. Well, that's done. Good job, old man, Naruto said, looking at the old man who suddenly fell down and Naruto caught him. Are you okay? Naruto looked worriedly at the old man. I think I may have used too much of my power. I can't go on no more. He gave him a weak smile. I can try to heal you, old man, he said, his hand glowing. No, don't. My body will negate your power. My time has come. I want true peace, the old man said as his body started to disintegrate into small flickering lights. But I already brought peace into your world, yes, and I want you to keep it there. Take care of my creations, please, he said the last part and completely vanishing. But, wait, and he's gone. Motherfuck. Naruto looked at the empty space now. Well, I guess I should follow a dead man's wish, he said while also vanishing away back to the world. First thing. Call the leaders of both sides. Wait, ramen first, then help the leaders. This will be totally troublesome. Confusion was the first thing that came into their heads. Michael, Lilith and Azazel looked at each other on what the hell just happened. They were both planning on what to do after the war, and suddenly they were forced summoned here at the park. So if it's not any of us, then who summoned us here? Michael asked, looking at his enemies. He was already tensed up and sad about the death of his father, and how he learned about the death came from that flaming man, who visited him and told him the devastating news of his father's death. He was tensed at first when he saw the man, thinking he was here to take over heaven since it was now a week, but he assured him he was just visiting to tell him the bad news. But when his sister Gabriel heard that father died, she could not stop crying after hearing that her father is now gone forever. Michael tried to comfort her, but she could not stop mourning at their loss, but and to his surprise, his sister stopped crying when the flaming man comforted her. She told Michael that she could feel the man's heart was pure like father. Maybe that's why she stopped crying. The man indeed was like the shining sun. If I would guess, it would be that man in the white flames, Lilith pointed out. She had already removed her armor and now wore a black tight short dress, with some armor on her shoulders, legs and hands. Really? And how did you come up with that conclusion, Lilith? You must have taken a liking to the man who killed your husband. Azazel sighed while wiggling his eyebrows, with a perverted grin. Azazel had also changed his armor and was now wearing a suit. Of course, my dear. Any man who could make the battlefield kneel would always pick my interest. It's a plus that he also defeated my snob of a husband, she replied while licking her lips in a wide gesture. Azazel could feel his blood rushing by just looking at the wide gesture from Lilith. But hell no, was he planning on sleeping with this woman? She was poisoned honey. Shivers went through his back at just the thought. If it's not you all him, then who the hell summoned us here? Michael asked in frustration. That would be me, Angel-san, a voice came from a little far from them. Both of the three leaders looked at where the voice came from. They both then got the shock of their life when they saw a chibi fox sitting on the park bench, and did it just talk? No. The real question of the matter here was that chibi fox eating ramen. With chopsticks. Azazel just scratched his head, looking wide-eyed. I should really hold down the weed, he thought while looking at the chibi fox eating ramen. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Michael asked his fellow leaders. Yes, they both answered at the same time. The only thing going through Lilith's head was hugging that little thing. The fox then deeply laughed, but to the leaders it sounded like a cute yipping. I assure you, Azazel, I am real, it's not the weed, the fox said once again. Why are you in a fox form? Flame-sama, Michael asked the fox. He could tell that this was the man who visited him in heaven by just feeling his aura. He had yet to learn the name of the man though. Well, I thought taking this form would let you people be more relaxed when talking to me. I have kind of lost my social skills due to the hundreds of years taking a tour on my mind. I've been so lonely. The fox then made a cute face with big shining sad eyes. Lilith could not take it any longer and grabbed the chibi fox and started hugging it tightly. You're so cute, she said, rubbing the fox on her chick. Mr. Fox, I advise you to run away. I think she's about to rape you, Azazel advised, which led to Lilith kicking his balls and him kneeling down. Shut up, pervert, she gave Azazel the stink eye on a period, much Azazel whispered while grabbing his nuts in pain. What did you just say? She looked at Azazel with dark waves rolling of her. No, nothing. This proud pervert did not say anything. Azazel looked terrified. I thought so, she then continued to hug the poor thing. Well, Lilith, can you leave Mr. Fox down, and Mr. "Fox, can't you change into a human form?" Michael asked, trying to not look embarrassed at his ex-enemy's shenanigans. "I can change. Why? Are you not pleased with this form?" the fox asked after being put down on the bench. "Ah, no, it's just weird talking to a weird-looking fox." Michael looked sheepish while scratching his head. "Hi!" Kurama shouted in Naruto's head. Naruto ignored the fox and shape-shifted into his old form, with the blonde hair and blue eyes. "Does this please you?" He looked at them. "It pleases me very, very much." Lilith licked her lips again. Michael just ignored her and nodded to Naruto. "Yes, this form is not disturbing much, like the fox form," Michael answered. Azazel just looked at Michael with a smirk. "If I didn't know better, I would think you were gay, brother." Azazel laughed. Michael just looked at Azazel with a murderous intent. Naruto looked at the three leaders with a small smile, remembering his time with Team 7. "Anyway, I called you guys here to see what I could do to help. The old man told me I should look after you before he died." Michael then smiled and bowed a little. "We would greatly appreciate your help, Fox-sama." "Call me Naruto." He grinned wide. "So any wishes I should grant you before I go?" he asked them. "Well, if you could bring the dead back to life, that would be really nice," Azazel told him. "I can do that, but I want, since I respect the dead staying dead," he answered the fallen angel. "Would it be possible to fix the heaven system? Ever since father died the system is not working." "I can do that. Next, Mr. Pervert-san." Azazel ignored his nickname. "Well, if you can't raise the dead, then can you find us a place where the fallen angels can stay?" Azazel asked him. "I can do that. I could create a whole new landmark, but that would negatively affect the earth. I would need to put more work on creation. But for now, I will find a place for you and your family to stay. That way no one is angry." Naruto then looked at Lilith on what she was going to wish for. "It's your turn, Mrs. Lilith. What do you desire?" "I wish." She looked in the sky thinking on what she should wish for, then an evil smirk came on her beautiful lips. Naruto felt goosebumps run through his back. He could almost hear voices telling him to run like hell. "I wish for you to be the new leader of the devil kind." She smiled at him, giving him an innocent look. "What?" both men shouted. "Why do you want me to be the leader?" He could feel his eyes watering and old man Sage laughing his ass off at him. "Well, there are a number of reasons. One is that we have no powerful leader as strong as Azazel or Michael. The underworld is in shambles and we have lost a lot of our kind. Besides, Lucifer was not much of a leader, more like a warmonger." "I'm afraid she's right. I don't think the devils have been in luck even before the war started. My brother Lucifer was more of a destroyer than someone who would want to create," Michael pointed out. "I wish I had thought of that," Azazel said, having a rain cloud on top of his head. Naruto then looked up, cursing the god who put that idea in this girl's head. Must be old man Sage, that bastard. "Well, I guess I have no choice but to be the leader then. But first thing is that I help Azazel look for a temporary place to live with his kind, then go to heaven and see what I can do to fix the system. After that I will help Lilith. Does anyone have a problem?" "No," they both answered. "Good. Now Azazel, come." Naruto grabbed Azazel and vanished, leaving Michael and Lilith behind. "Ah, so Mrs. Lilith. Nice weather we having." Michael tried to start up a conversation. 100 years later, ever since the war, Naruto had done a lot of stuff to fix and help the biblical creations. He first found a good enough place for Azazel and his kind to reside in. He then helped Michael fix the heavenly system to start working again, and finally helped the devils to develop again. Most of the devils were happy as they could see the changes of the underworld were better now than back when Lucifer was their king. But then, that all changed when some of the old devils thought it was some joke to bring peace among the functions, and because of the different thinking, a civil war broke out among the old Satan and the anti-Satan functions. This of course was suicidal as they were waging war on a powerful being such as Naruto. It got even worse when the younger generation, which was also powerful as the original Satan, sided with Naruto. This led to the old devils being defeated and chased away from the underworld. The most outstanding devils were then recognized and given titles by their new leader, Naruto. They were the Yandai Mao. This outstanding devils were Searzex Lucifer, of the Gremory clan, Seraphal Leviathan, of the Cetri clan, Ajuka Beelzebub, of the Astaroth clan, and Falbium Asmodeus, of the Glacia Labelas clan. This devils were also given new roles to help their leader rule the underworld. Grafiya, one of the remaining survivors who betrayed the old Satan function and helped win the civil war, chose to still serve the new leader as the headmaid. This of course made Searzex joke around how she was a little addicted Naruto-sama like most of the women around him, but the comment would always lead to him frozen in an ice block. So it was safe to say that by then, most of the supernatural knew who the man in the white flames was and was not to be messed with. The supernatural beings also respected him, as he at times would come and help whoever needed his godly hand. Also the yukai would usually worship him as they thought he was their god, since at times Naruto would turn into a menacing 10-tailed fox. Like one time he visited the yukai to help them better protect themselves from the other beings. This led to him sharing the yukai some of his chakra to better protect themselves from the other beings. But among his great things, a lot of the supernatural had yet to see his true form, as only the higher-ups were able to see him face to face, since Naruto did not like too much attention. This led to many funny theories made by the people of how only his face can be seen by stronger beings, since the weak will die by just a simple look, or how you would fall in love with just his single gaze. But it's safe to say it was all a lie, right? Big brother. Is it true that he can actually blow up the earth with just his gaze? A 17-year-old with red hair and blue-green eyes asked his brother Sirzox in an excited manner. I honestly don't know if Naruto-sama can do that. I'm sorry that I don't have the answers for you, Imoudo. Wah. Please forgive your big brother. Sirzox then grabbed Rias and started crying on her. Ah, get off me. You're getting my clothes wet with your tears, big brother. Rias tried to remove Sirzox, but it was impossible. Then, as luck would have it, there came Zeoticus, who then stopped Sirzex from embarrassing his little sister any longer. Sirzex, my son, it would seem you were being called to the leader's capital. It would seem there is an urgent meeting, Zeoticus told his firstborn. I will go at once, father, he said, getting ready to summon a teleportation seal. Wait, brother, can you take me with you? She pleaded him. I wish I could, Imoudo, but tell you what, when you're stronger, the first thing I will do is bring you there to meet Leader Sama. He gave her a wide grin and then got teleported away. Rias puffed her cheeks, looking angry. How can she even grow stronger at a fast rate? She really wanted to be powerful to protect her family and maybe step out of her brother's shadow. Don't worry, child. Leader Sama is not going anywhere. Besides, don't you think you should go back to Earth? Your peerage may get worried on your absence, especially that new pawn of yours, Zeoticus said, rubbing his daughter's head, messing up her hair. Ah, right, almost forgot. Yane, father, Naruto's castle, so glad that you could make it. Sirzox Lilith welcomed Sirzox, who just teleported inside the castle. Sirzox looked around, finding 4 of his friends there too, and then found Grafiya crying in the corner. I don't want to ask, but why is Grafiya crying in the corner? Sirzox asked Lilith. He could tell his friends also wanted to ask the same question. Oh, that's what I called you for, she replied. It would seem that Naruto-kun has escaped us. That's the reason why Grafiya is hyperventilating. It took a minute for the answer to be processed by the great Satans. What? Leader Sama is gone, they both shouted, with wide eyes. Hey, relax, okay. Your shouting will make everyone know, leading to panic. Apologies, Lilith Sama. Please continue, Ajuka said, looking more composed than his fellow devils. Why is Naruto-sama gone? Seraphal almost cried. She knew she should have not let him of her sight. The bastard always tried to escape her clutches. I mean, she was not that clingy, right? Relax, Seraphal, he's not gone forever. He said something about getting a vacation from the underworld. We have to find him fast. He's supposed to be present for the new meetings this coming month. Sirzox could almost feel the headache which will come when he is trying to solve this big problem. Honestly, he does not know who's the child here, him or Leader Sama. Indeed, we have to. That lovable bastard can't just go on a vacation without me, Lilith angry said, thinking of what punishment she will do to him. Maybe close down all the ramen shops. That would make him cry like a little piggy and teach him not to forget me. You're right. We need to find Naru-sama. How will he take care of himself there without his maid? I'm sure he can't eat proper food, or bath on his own without me there to help. Naru-sama. Grafiya, who looked like she was not just hyperventilating a few seconds ago, silently said to the other devils while dotting a serious face. That's the spirit. Leader Sama needs a Seraphal added her own 2 cents. Wait. Stop. What the hell are you all talking about? We should bring back Leader Sama here, not help him in his vacation. God. Sometimes I feel like I'm the older one here, Falbium said, looking sternly at the 3 females. Sorry, Falbium-kun, Sama, so when did he escape? Sirzox asked Lilith. Just a few minutes ago. He just left a note saying he's tired and has gone on a vacation, she answered him, while handing Sirzox the note left behind by Naruto. A blonde-haired man with deep blue eyes wearing a simple orange shirt, dark jeans and a white haori decorated with gold linings and plates sat on his throne. His whiskered face written with boredom as he watched the long grand hallway in front of him. It was a busy day like the usual, as maids would pass every few minutes to reach their working place. Naruto released a breath as he could not take any more of his boring life. He was about to stand up and go until he saw a short blue-haired maid pass across the hallway. Hey you. He called out to the maid, who immediately blushed seeing her blonde king calling her. Leader Sama. How can I help you? She asked him while looking down as she found the floor more interesting. She would blush every so often when she tried looking at his face. You know, you're very cute when you blush, he told her while smiling softly at her. Leader Sama. Her face was red as a tomato. I want you to do me a favor, maid-chan, he said while rubbing the top of her head. I have never done it before, but I will do anything you want, Leader Sama. Her blue eyes started to twinkle like the stars. This was it, her moment to prove to her kind master. Really? You have never done ramen before? Ramen is the food of the gods. Naruto proclaimed, oblivious to what the cute maid was thinking. Her face immediately became blank. Ramen. I wanted you to get me some ramen. He gave her an innocent smile. She signed. Of course, you mean ramen. What was I thinking? Leader Sama. I'm sorry, but Grafiya-sama said no more ramen for you this month, she told him sternly. But Grafiya is not here. Have mercy, woman. He hugged the poor girl and started crying on her, causing the girl to look embarrassed. Leader Sama. She cried out. Era. I never thought I would see Naru-kun cry this much. Grafiya must have done a number on you. Lilith softly laughed while covering her mouth. She was just getting in the throne room to check on Naruto. Lilith-chan. Help me. I just want some ramen. Naruto jumped out of the maid's hands and into Lilith's hands. Well, I would, unless you give me a date, she proposed while caressing his cheek. Done what, really? Just like that? Darn it, I should have asked for kids, Lilith berated herself. No take-backs. Now go get me my ramen, woman. Fine. But if Grafiya comes back from setting up that meeting with Yusaka-chan, don't mention anything of me giving you ramen, she told him while taking the maid with her. Scout's honor. I almost forgot that there is a meeting with Yusaka-chan in this coming months, Naruto thought. Yusaka was the nine-tailed fox yukai who ruled the yukai species. She was also one of the people Naruto cared a lot about, after saving her in the past. Flashback. Many years back then, Yusaka-sama. Hurry, we should go. A humanoid yukai with the face of a monkey grabbed the young 17-year princess by the hand and started to pull her out of the temple with fear written all over the monkey's face. What's wrong, Homaru-san? Yusaka didn't know what the hell was happening. At one time she was sleeping and the next second Homaru pulls her out of her bed with a scared look. She didn't know anything that could spook the monkey yukai. This much, he was always so fearless when serving his father, the king of the yukai. It's those humans. They ambushed us at our moment of weakness, he responded without giving her a gaze, as he was busy trying to find the right path to take. They then both reached the temple doors, which Homaru found that they were locked tight. Shit. But Homaru-san, why would the humans attack us? I thought that we were at an agreement of peace, she asked the monkey yukai who was busy unlocking the large doors. Well, they betrayed us. I knew we should have never trusted those humans, he responded as he finally unlocked the locks on the door. But surely the humans can't cause this much fear and harm to us yukai, right? Homaru-san, she asked him, but her thought process stopped when the large doors opened. Her throat dried and her eyes got wide as she could not believe what she was seeing. Her village was being burned down while some yukais were being killed by humans wearing some type of armor, threatened to come as she looked at the chaos around her. How? She questioned him. They're the hero tribe. We thought we could handle them when they ambushed us, but we were wrong. They have some sacred gears users on their side helping them to kill our people. We can't stay here any longer. We need to regroup. But, what about Papa? Where is Papa? She screamed as tears came down on her beautiful face. Your father is holding our defensive line. That way most of the hero tribe does not pass through and kill everybody. Now come, Yusaka-sama. We should get you out of here. He grabbed her hand again and started pulling her to the escape route hidden in the forest. As they were going further into the forest, Yusaka felt her bond with his father fading away. This made her to stop in her tracks. Papa. What's wrong, Yusaka-sama? We need to keep moving. It's Papa. Our bond is weakening. Something must be wrong with him. I have to go help Papa. No, we can't. It's too dangerous. If you get killed, then all is lost. Homaru tried to convince her, but before he could pull her hand again, Yusaka exploded with power, pushing Homaru away. Yusaka-sama. He cried out, looking at Yusaka in surprise, who had her golden fox ears and 8 tails out for the world to see. She also had power radiating off her in huge amounts. I'm sorry, Homaru-san, but I have to go help Papa and my people. Please, don't try to stop me. She turned around, getting ready to return. Wait, Yusaka-sama. If you wish to go back and help the people, then I have no choice but to help you. Homaru then got up, walking towards her. Your father would be proud of what you have become. Yusaka-sama, a worthy leader you are. He smiled at her, which also made her smile. Thank you, Homaru-san. They both then raced back to help their father, King while also killing some humans who got in the way. Yusaka-sama. We are close, your father is just behind that wall. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. Both Yusaka and Homamaru then went towards the wall to jump it but had to jump back, as someone crush landed on the previous spot with his kick. This caused a lot of dust and debris to fly everywhere. And where do you think you're going, princess? A sickly evil voice came from the man who just tried to harm them. He was wearing some unique armor to better protect himself. Who the hell are you? Yusaka shouted while looking at the stranger straight in the eye. My name won't matter to you, because soon you will be dead at my feet with your little monkey friend there. He laughed while pointing at the monkey yukai. Yusaka-sama. Go. I will deal with this one. You go help your father. Homamaru faced the stranger while doing a martial arts pose. Yusaka nodded at Homamaru. Thank you again, Homamaru-san. I will make sure I save father, and Homamaru-san. Yes, princess? He looked at Yusaka one more time. Please don't die anytime soon. She then jumped up the wall without any problems. Of course, Yusaka-sama. As if this fool could equal me on the battlefield. Homamaru then looked at the stranger who was waiting for him to finish talking. It's now only you and me, human, Homamaru said while getting ready to attack the man with his ape-like fist. Ha ha ha, fool. You just made a big mistake. Your little princess will die where she's going, because right behind this wall is a monster stronger than me, who is killing your little fox king. As we speak now, the man proclaimed and then continued to laugh like a crazy person while putting his hand on his right part of his face. What do you mean, fool? It won't matter now because you will also be dead at my feet, monkey-san. They then both launched at each other in blinding speed. I will have to finish this fight soon, to go and help Yusaka-sama if what this fool is saying is true. With you and Garo, how does it feel now, to be on your knees? Yu-sama, a black-haired man with dark eyes and wearing armor which had a few holes in it, due to the fight, said while looking at another person on the ground. Come on and give up already. This fight is over, Yu-sama. Surely you didn't think that your fox form could defeat my holy spear? The man laughed again while he waved the highly decorated spear in his hands in a lazy manner. I will never give up to fight for my people. You fools will never understand peace. You're just a mad man. Garo-san, the wounded man named Yu, who was on the ground, shouted back at his enemies now named Garo. The blonde man named Yu, who like his enemy, was also wearing some heavy gold dark armor which looked like had seen better days. He was also on his last leg as even his 8 tails behind him were too tired to be used. Truly the so-called holy spear was a monster no matter the person who used it. Peace. Who the hell wants peace? Yu-sama. With all this power in my hands, I could do anything, starting with removing the yukai of my planet. Garo started approaching Yu slowly. Yu, seeing Garo approaching him, forced himself up to get ready for another attack. I only have one shot at this, Yu thought while conjuring foxfire in his right hand. Yes. I want you to have hope, Yu-sama, before I turn it to dust. The madman laughed again as he now sprinted to Yu at a fast pace, but had to block a huge fireball with his holy spear. This caused a huge explosion which temporarily gave Garo a blind spot. Yu then used this chance to force himself up and went behind Garo, who was unaware of Yu's advance on him. And with a roar, Yu aimed his hand intending to stab Garo in the back, but then Garo blocked Yu's hand with the spear without even looking. Then Garo created 4 energy blades which pierced Yu, who was not fast enough to move away. Crap. Yu fell down as his blood started to cover the floor. Garo slowly turned around and looked at Yu, who was dying slowly. Ha. I'm sorry, Yu-sama. I wish you could have seen what I will do to your kind, Garo said looking almost sorry at Yu. Someone else will. Stop your little plan, Garo, Yu wheezed out while blood started coming down his mouth. Ha. Or really, who would challenge M? Garo failed to finish his sentence as Yusaka came out of nowhere and punches Garo on the cheek, launching him a little distance from where he previously was. Yusaka then kneeled down to help his father. Papa, are you okay? She cried as tears came down on her beautiful face. Yusaka, you came. Why? You're not supposed to be here. Please go. Yu tried to push his daughter away so that she could run. No, Papa. I'm not going to leave you. We will find help. I will fight this man if I have to. She grabbed his father closer as she tried to apply pressure on some of the wounds. No, my child, my time is up. I just wish I had something to at least hurt that bastard. He clenched his teeth. Don't worry, Papa. I will kill him, she said with conviction and anger in her voice. I know you will, my child. I'm proud of you, Yu whispered out as his eyes slowly closed and he stopped breathing. Papa, she cried out looking at his now deceased father. Sue, are you done, Yusaka-chan? Garo asked her, with a smirk on his lips. Yu, her eyes glowed yellow as she started to turn into her fox form. I will kill you now. That's the spirit, Yusaka-chan. Like father, like daughter. Garo launched himself at the fox. At a far distance in the sky, a woman wearing a midnight black kimono and dark hair just looked down at the fight between Yusaka and Garo. Her dark eyes, which shined like brightest stars, were full of worry. I wish I could help you, Yusaka-chan, she whispered sadly. She continued to watch the battle until she felt a portal opening behind her. What's this? She looked puzzled until a man in some white flames, white hair and small horns, wearing a hobi which seemed to be made up of energy. The man in the flames. What are you doing here? She asked him. I'm here to see whatever the hell is happening here, and my name is Naruto, not Flaming Man, he responded with an annoyed face as he looked at the mess happening below them. Well then, my name is Amaterasu, she said while covering her mouth with the sleeve of the kimono to hide her laugh. Why are you not helping them? Naruto asked her with a serious gaze. I wish I could, but my pantheon does not allow direct interaction with the beings of the earth. Their rules I'm afraid I have to follow. She looked sad as she saw Yusaka getting hurt as time went on. Like her father, even she could not fight the power of the Holy Lance. Is there anything you could do to help Yusaka-chan? She begged him. Yes, there is. He gave her a small smile. Really? How? Because Naruto does not follow any rules, he responded as he went down to beat the shit out of Garo. Naruto? Be careful. That weapon he's using is harmful to us gods. Meanwhile at the battlefield, and just like father, the daughter also fell to me. Garo laughed as he watched the weakened Yusaka. She could not believe it. She thought she could take on Garo, but that was a mistake. It was impossible to beat him with that sacred gear of his. Even her huge fox form could not stop him. Yusaka-chan, do you see now that your efforts are inevitable? But tell you what, be my little slave and you will get to live longer, he said with a perverted smile plastered on his face. I would rather die. She tried to force herself up but ended up falling again. Well then, suit yourself, Yusaka-chan. I'm going to enjoy this, very very much. He started to approach her with his holy spear now raised. Listen, for what it's worth, this battle was actually exciting. Go to hell. She cried out while weakly trying to slash him on the legs with her claws. Garo's just stepped back, dodging her effort to attack him. There is no need for me to go to hell, Yusaka-chan. No being can defeat me. Now tell your father I said hello. Yusaka closed her eyes as she waited for Garo's spear to end her life, but instead heard the sound of metal hitting something hard. I can't allow you to kill the fox lady. Yusaka heard a man's voice in front of her. She slowly looked up, seeing a man, no but a god. His body was covered in white flames and 10 fox-like tails made up of energy behind him. One of the tails was used to block the attack from Garo's spear. And who the hell are you? Am I supposed to kill you too? Garo asked while looking a little annoyed with the interruption. Naruto just used his tails to attack Garo, who had to jump back to avoid getting injured. You're no ordinary being, are you? Well, I guess your head will be a good trophy once I'm done killing you. Garo got himself ready to attack the newcomer. Are you okay, fox lady? Naruto asked Yusaka with worry written all over his face. He then made a clone which surprised her. Who are you? Yusaka had so many questions running through her mind on who this individual was. Call me Naruto. I sensed something was going on, so I came to help. My clone will heal you while I deal with this idiot. Thank you, Naruto-san. Naruto just gave her a large grin and launched himself fast at Garo, who was ready for the attack. They both caused a shockwave as the spear and Naruto's staff made out of truth-seeking orbs crushed. Garo was then pushed back as he could not handle Naruto's strength. They then came again at each other, with Naruto landing a few hits and Garo being able to make a small cut on Naruto's haori. That's a very interesting weapon you got there. Not many weapons can cut through my haori. The spear piqued Naruto's interest. It's putting of a lot of power. I can say the same about your staff, but all your little tricks can't match up to the power of my sacred gear. If I was able to defeat the Yukai King and her daughter effortlessly, what makes you so special? Am a god, but I have to hold back on killing you. Your life is not mine to take, it seems. Naruto then teleported back to Yusaka, surprising her yet again. Are you healed up now? He asked her while helping her to stand up. Yes, thank you again. She blushed a little. Can you fight? I want you to be the one to kill him. I don't have enough power to fight him again. Sorry, Naruto-san. He was just too strong for me. She looked down again as tears started to fall down her face to the soft ground. Don't worry, okay. I will help you. Never give up on fighting for what's right, he said as his chakra started to extend to Yusaka, making her stronger again. She then started to turn into her a huge fox form with Naruto standing on top of her head. This is beginning to look fun. Garo laughed madly as he could feel his blood rushing in his veins. Now in her fox form, Naruto's chakra started to cover her whole body, creating armor. Your chakra, it's so powerful, I think I can no fight him on even ground now. Then attack him, I will cover your blind spots, he responded mentally to her. And with a roar, Yusaka attacked Garo with female fury, who was now unable to keep up much with Yusaka's new speed. Garo tried to dodge all the 8 tails, but a single paw sent him crushing at the ground. He quickly got up and attacked Yusaka with his spear, tearing part of the armor, which quickly reformed. Yusaka then sent a huge chunk of foxfire at him, but Garo used the spear to cut the chunk of fire in half and sent a lot of energy blades at Yusaka, who dodged only few of them. Garo then created multiple blades to come out of the ground, forcing Yusaka to jump up. Garo then immediately appeared above her, ready to throw his spear at Yusaka with all his might. Got you, Yusaka-chan, Garo roared as he was about to throw the spear, but a huge dense chakra arm came out of the chakra armor, punching Garo with so much force, sending him up in the air again. A Naruto clone then appeared above Garo, kicking him down to Yusaka, who used her tails as a bat, sending him skidding on the ground, creating a large trench. Chains then came out of the ground, locking Garo in place. Let's finish this, fox lady, indeed we should, Naruto-san. A mini Bijudama started to form in front of her with Yusaka combining her flames into the ball. The ground itself started to melt as more power was being pushed into the ball. This is not what I was expecting. Garo gritted his teeth as he tried to break out of the chains to escape the Bijudama. Ah fu me, Garo closed his eyes, then with a mental command, they launched the Bijudama at Garo, causing a huge explosion with no trace of Garo left anymore. Yusaka then powered down to her human form with her fox ears and tails. I think the bastard won't bother you anytime soon, fox lady. I can't sense him anymore, Naruto told Yusaka as he could no longer sense Garo. Thank you very much, Naruto-san. We should now help my people if possible. She gave him a small bow. Let's make sure there are no humans attacking your species again, and then gather the injured. I will heal them up, okay, Mrs. Yusaka. Am in your gratitude, Naruto-san, but I'm curious, what are you? Huh. I am a god, what? I'm sorry, I didn't realize sooner, Naruto-sama. Yusaka's eyes widened as she kneeled down with her head on the floor. She should have known. How can someone have that much amount of power? Relax, Yusaka-chan. Though I'm also curious, I thought you only had 8 tails. Where did the other one came from? He asked while grabbing Yusaka's now 9th tail and stroked it. Yusaka's face then immediately turned red with steam coming out of her ears. Kya. A few minutes later, after defeating Garo and some of the hero tribe, Yusaka rounded up the injured, which were then healed by Naruto. The healing chakra also ended up gifting some of the yukai chakra, like how Naruto's chakra affected Yusaka by giving her another tail. Amaterasu also helped a little in the burying of the dead Yukas and Yusaka's father. She then also helped in rebuilding the village, since it was her job to look after the yukai. They also looked for the sacred gear of Garo, but it was nowhere at sight. It would seem it will go into another person. Hopefully he's a good person. Am very grateful, Naruto-kun, for helping Yusaka. She's very important to me, Amaterasu said as she smiled at the blonde hero who had now changed back to his old form. It was nothing. I would do it in a heartbeat, he grinned at the two beautiful ladies. Naruto-kun, since you're the one who saved my people, I ask if there is anything you may desire. Yes, actually, I heard you own Japan, so I was thinking if you could give me a temporary land, he asked her while thinking of giving the land to Azazel as his temporary base. I can easily do that, but are you sure if that's all you want, Naruto-kun? Yusaka wanted to offer you a marriage contract, she said as she pulled Yusaka into a hug while Yusaka tried to look anywhere else but at Naruto. It's okay if you don't want it, Naruto-sama. Yusaka blushed while finding the floor interesting. Kukuku, if you want, Naruto-kun, I can sweeten the deal to marry me too, she said while kissing Yusaka full on the lips, making Yusaka faint with embarrassment. I'm sure I don't want to get married yet, Amaterasu-chan. He scratched his head looking embarrassed with a nosebleed on his face. Are you sure? Naruto-kun, I'm sure. I should get going now before Grafiya goes full Yendir on me. Flashback end. That was a really long time ago, before he decided to mainly focus on building the devil function, but these days, it's been rather boring. Perhaps he should go back on Earth. There is usually something fun out there. Yes, that is a great idea. Besides, they won't miss him that much here. It's just a small Naruto vacation. Grafiya won't get mad, right? He deserves a break, right? He needs to eat ramen every day, right? With all these questions accumulating in his blonde head, one thing was right. He needed to get out before the girls and the weird redhead comes and stops him. Maybe I should write a letter before I go on my vacation. Little Big Ramen Shop, check. Best Ramen Shop, check. Naruto thought as he checked out the names on his list of ramen shops he eat by crossing out their names with a pen. One of his wishes after escaping the underworld was to test out all of the ramen the outside world offered him. By now he had already eaten the food from most of the countries around the world before his devoted followers caught him. By followers he means Grafiya. That woman was on the wild hunt for him, that's for sure. She even was close to catching him several times before he made a run for it like Sasuke running from Sakura. That forehead girl needed to take hint. Running from his cute little devils though made him feel bad and all, but he promised himself that he was going to make it up to them when he returns, provided she does not kill him or chain him up in the room so that she can take care of him for life. A fate worse than death for sure. He could even feel a chill run down his back on the last thought. Though his dick had other thoughts on the idea of being taken care of again by his cute servants, he really needed to question his morals. Well, I guess it's time to see what old Mon's ramen shop has in store for me, he said, looking up at the open stand shop like the one from his home world. He greedily made his way to the sit but still wondered why he was the only one about to eat here. An old man made his way to his seat with shit-eating grin as he finally had a customer. His whole kitchen attire was dirty, making Naruto think twice about eating here. Welcome kid to my humble shop. Don't let the atmosphere fool you. I make the best ramen shop in all of Kyoto. Maybe because he was the only one who made ramen in this town, but the kid didn't need to know that. What should I get you kid? He took out his notepad and pen. For now, just give me one miso ramen, we'll see from there, Naruto ordered. Well, you're in luck, I have it already made, he said as he tossed his notepad away and grabbed the ramen from the fridge. He then placed it on the counter in front of Naruto with some chopsticks. Here you go. Please enjoy. Well, I can see why you don't have customers here, you old ass. You didn't even warm this crap up. On top of that, it's not even miso, Naruto angrily said, giving the old man the stink eye while inhaling the ramen to his stomach. Budget cuts. Kids this days always complaining about anything. This is the best ramen out there. Probably why you can't stop eating it. He gave him a massive grin while a tick mark appeared on Naruto's forehead. The best. Only Grafiya cooks the best ramen. I'm just eating your crap because all ramen is sacred, he said while throwing the now empty ramen cup to the old man's face. You little shit. Get out. I was already getting out of your shitty establishment. He got off the chair and started to sprint away. I'm never coming back here again. Yeah. You better run kid. Wait. You didn't pay. You little piece of shit, the old man screamed out as he jumped over his counter ready to catch Naruto. Help. A pedophile is trying to assault me, Naruto cried out, making the civilians around look at the old man dirty. It's not what it looks like, believe me. The old man tried to convince the people otherwise, but by then Naruto had already escaped the old man. I will hunt you down, you little shit, if it's the last thing I do, the old man thought as he looked at the far road the kid disappeared to. He then scratched his butt while releasing a fart. Woo. Excuse me, the old man said to the civilians walking by while giving him distasteful looks. A person got to break wind every once in a while. You know, don't look at me like you don't. Miss Pretty Lady, the old man shouted at one of the passerbys who had red hair. I didn't say anything, old fart san, she said with a red face, while not sparing another glance to the old man. Hopefully I lost the old man by now, he thought, looking back to check if the old man was still following him. He must have been running for at least an hour or so. A regular old man can't keep up with that. He was hoping the old man was just another regular guy. While still in his thoughts, he failed to notice someone was moving opposite to him till it was too late. He bumped into some brown-haired kid, making the kid fall down with all the ice creams he was holding in his hands. HYY, watch it. I'm walking over here. He narrowed his eyes at the fallen kid. He could feel his pervert senses tingling. EHHH, you pretty blonde bastard. I'm the one who fell here. The kid got up with a big tick mark on his head. How dare this blonde guy makes him drop the ice cream for Yuma, which was his ticket to lose his virginity. Right now he just wanted to punch the guy in his pretty face. Goddamn, this guy was hot. No homo. Now what am I supposed to do? You made me drop the ice cream for my girlfriend. Buy another one, pervert. How? Ha. I already spent most of my money on her today. I don't. He was about to continue speaking on his lack of money, but Naruto threw a ward of cash, slapping him in the face. Issei looked surprised at what the guy just did. Ha, you feel lucky, punk. Perhaps now you want bitch about your luck of money, he said as he turned around and started to walk away. That bastard, depressed Issei started to pick up the money. At least he got more money to spare now. Maybe now he can get that porn game he always wanted. Thoughts of that game already starting to make him have a boner. Not now, Dick. We have to first buy things for Yuma. Maybe we can finally get some downtown experience. His hand was getting tired nowadays. Few hours later, that will be 70 for the candy, miss, the candy shop owner said as he looked down at the cute girl. Kaneko took out her cat theme wallet she got from her master. Looking inside for the cash, she only had her bank card. Do you take cards? she asked him while bending her head a little to the right. No, the shop owner blushed, looking at how cute she looked. You can have them, if you're willing to do something for me. He licked his lips while having a perverted look on his face. Kaneko narrowed her eyes as she clenched her hands. You picked the wrong day to be a pervert, she said as she immediately punched the guy in the face, breaking his jaw. After a few poundings and broken bones, Kaneko came out with a huge bag of candy in her arms. This was her lucky day, she got free candy and beat up a pervert. He looked dead though. She happily started to make her way home till she got a glimpse of a familiar shade of blonde hair she knew all too well. She immediately started to run after the blonde guy, dropping her candy at the side. Did master came here to hide from his obsessed maid? She thought as she could finally sense his master's familiar chakra on the blonde guy. He was hiding in plain sight. The underworld wouldn't think twice on looking for him in plain sight. Naruto felt a familiar presence coming straight for him at high speed. The percentage of him getting tackled through a wall were high. Kaneko's affection for him was suicide. She immediately jumped in his arms with Naruto holding her up in a hug. He was lucky she didn't use a lot of power in her, showed she could learn. Then her horny sister, his hoping Kuroka does not go into any heat months. He was only one man. Mayu, master, I missed you, she purred as she rubbed her face on his chest. Hey you, my cute Neko. I guess it was a matter of time before you found me here, ha, he said, rubbing her head, making her cat ears pop out. Let's just hope the underworld does not find me soon. It's only been 3 weeks. You will hide at my house. She stared dead into his eyes. It seemed that he had no choice in the matter. Alright, my ramen crusade for today will have to wait, so which way to your house? That way, she pointed behind him, as he started to make his way to her place. But you made me forget my candy on the way here, so you will have to pay me back. Don't worry. I have it under control, he lightly laughed. Kaneko will always be Kaneko. Who said I wanted to be paid back in money or candy? Well then, in this case, I don't have it under control. What do you desire? Her cat ears perked up, her mouth opened to say something. Well, I want. Whatever it is will have to wait. I think the ramen I had from that old fart is melting my insides. He grabbed his stomach in pain after he had let Kaneko down. He walked for a little while, till he could not take it anymore. He needed to take a sit somewhere, maybe that park bench. Let me just relax here for a while. He slowly sat down on the bench, making the pain lessen. Ramen had done him wrong. Kaneko. What's wrong? Naruto looked at his kitten, who seemed to be concentrating on something else. I sense an illusion covering this place, just ignore it, he replied as he turned into a chibi fox. Be back in a minute. Natural calls, he said, making his way to the forest, but jumped away when a light spear landed on his previous spot. Hey. Watch where you place those things. No animals should be harmed. Animal rights. He raised his paw at the owner of the spear. The perpetrator was a fallen angel with 2 pairs of wings and dark raven hair. She looked at the fox with wide eyes, since she thought it was just a summon for the cat yukai sitting at the bench. She didn't really mean to attack it. She just wanted it to stop from telling anyone of what she was about to do to the pervert. She landed softly on the grass. Kaneko glared at the fallen angel with hate as she got ready to attack the fallen angel with wrath. How dare you try to hurt Naruto-sama? Naruto-sama. You don't mean the, oh no. What did she do? She just tried to hurt the person who gave her race a home. He was one of the beings a lot of races looked up to in this Cold War. She didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Naruto-sama. She made her way to the fox while crying and apologizing to him. Ever since Rainier saw Naruto at one of his visits with their leader, you could say it was love at first sight for her. His smile made her weak in the knees. His looks and power did not help her hormones at all. She also began to train more, as she knew she would never grab his attention or meet him more if she was of the reasons she now had another pair wings. Her leader would always tease her on her crush. Fox Naruto looked at her, trying to figure out who she was. She looked familiar. I think I know you. Ramaru was it? No, Ram. No, that's my other cute maid. Ray. Naruto continued to pound her on what her name was, while scratching his ear with his paw. He must have taken some ticks from that old Mon's shop. Rainier looked depressed with a rain cloud on her head. She was about to remind him her name but stopped as she flew away due to the courtesy of Kaneko's heavy punch to the cheek. OWWW. Both Naruto and Issei, who thought was going to die today, yelled in surprise. Issei for his part thought that the day was getting weirder and weirder. First he had a girlfriend for a day, then that girlfriend turned into some hot S&M fallen angel who tried to kill him. On top of that, his school's cute mascot came with a man turned fox. Did he forget to mention that Kaneko just punched his ex-girlfriend? Yeah, that did just happen. She was dead for sure. Or not. Rainier came out of the bushes she got punched into. She looked like she was about to murder a body, and it was not Issei. Fox Naruto just looked back and forth. Wait. I remember now. It's Rainier. He patted himself on the back. Sometimes he honestly believed that his genius generated gravity. Rainier looked at the fox with hope and admiration. Her crush remembers her name. She immediately rushed to the fox and hugged close to her opai. Hey. Your snot and tears are messing up my koto. I'm sorry, Naruto-sama. I'm just glad I'm meeting you again. She happily smiled as she softly petted him on head. Give me back, Naruto-sama. Kaneko did not look pleased. It's okay, Kaneko. She's not an enemy. He tried to calm Kaneko down. Rainier just stuck her tongue out at Kaneko. Victory was hers. Anyway. Rainier, why are you trying to kill pervert-san over there? I thought I said no killing for no reason. What are you even doing in this territory? He said as he jumped of her arms and turned back to human. Issei just deflated at the disrespect. Honestly, Issei wanted to run away, but the world was moving so fast around him he didn't know what to do. He wanted answers. Well, I was ordered by the higher-ups to kill the sacred gear user before he becomes a menace. Who had that idea? That guy does not like he will be a menace. I mean, come on. Are you expecting him to unlock his sacred gear powers and start to actually gain character development in his life? He laughed at the end. Issei just felt bad for whatever reason. Was he a background character? A shameful pervert. Kaneko added more fire to the flames. She then made her way to Naruto and arrested his hand into her developing bosom. Kokabel was the one who ordered it. He said it will make leader-sama happy. The more she explained it to him, the more it felt like she had been played by the warmonger. She just wanted to get stronger and meet the great Naruto-sama. Penomue is always rubbing it in her face on how she met Naruto-sama. This seems sketchy. We should go somewhere private to discuss about this development. Kaneko, teleport us to your apartment. What about the pervert? Rainier asked him while moving closer into the teleportation circle. Oh yeah, that. His eyes changed into the Rinasharingen and casted a quick illusion on him, making him forget what just happened. Then the supernatural group vanished, leaving Issei alone at the park. Issei then blinked a few times trying to remember what just happened but failed. This was well and truly a bizarre night for him. He started to make his way home while deep down in his soul, the red dragon was trying to see how it will be resealed. Hopefully the red-haired devil will help him. At Kaneko's house after a few hours, after a long talk with Rainier, Naruto went to sleep on the bed with Kaneko not leaving his sight. His little dream of Grafiya, Lilith and Seraphol in a huge ramen cup was halted when he felt a disturbance in the force. The dark side was raising. He opened his eyes slowly, staring at a naked Kaneko under the sheets. He must admit, after taking Kuroka and Kaneko as his servants and students, Kaneko has developed rather too well, if he must say. Ah, Kaneko. What are you doing? Something was up. I'm getting my pay. Nyashi grabbed his boxers and started to pull them slowly. Wait. Hey, I'm back with another chapter for you guys. So no, I'm not retiring. I have been busy and lazy. My old crappy laptop got stolen and I strained my wrist doing 3D stuff. No worries though. I have a more powerful laptop and rigging a character is still a bitch. I would like to thank you guys for following me in the story. I know some of the grammar is bad. I don't know everything. But you guys still push through to the end. Even the best authors in the world need a beta, and sadly I don't. I would want to reply to all my beautiful trolls, but I just don't have the energy. I will just drop another chapter. In other news, I've been watching South Park and Rick and Morty, so you guys should not worry about my comedy changing at all, in any way. Scout's honor. Now, like how Disney once said, onwards, to another chap. Peace. Love and positivity Mr. Steal your girl. School grounds. Life, full of ups and downs, but to Issei, it was failing down hard like a stripper's panties. His life was pure crap and he honestly felt like dying. The only girl he ever had a chance to be with, broke up with him within 2 days of their relationship. What did he do wrong? Was it the date? She just left without a word to him. On top of that, no one at school seemed to recognize her when he showed them a picture of her on his phone. He just wanted to know where she is, so that he can ask the reason why she broke up with him. He clenched the phone in his hands tightly as he walked like a possessed zombie along the walkway, his schoolmates ignoring him and his dark cloud like a plague. I mean, who would believe Issei having a girlfriend? Even his best friends did not believe him. Issei went and leaned against a wall as he tried to figure out a way to prove everyone wrong and find out the answers to his dilemma. How was he going to find Yuma? If only he had a way. Hold on. He just remembered he has her number in his phone. He was just so busy being a sad idiot he forgot she gave him her number on their first meeting. He could feel his hopes rising as he placed the call button. The phone started to ring. Someone picked up. Hello. Issei called out to the other end. Yes. Who dis? A male voice came from the other end. Issei was confused. It's Issei. Is this Yuma's phone? He asked as he heard the guy grunt and heard a moan in the background. Yuma? Oh, you mean Rainier. Yeah, it's her phone. Hold on, let me give her the phone. Issei? Is this you? She asked him. Finally he can talk to Yuma, Rainier, and get the answers. We need to talk. I don't understand what I did or IFF. Issei, she cut him off. I know you hung up on our little breakup, but I'm past that now. I found someone else and am busy right now. Don't ever call this number again, she finished as she handed the phone back to her male companion. What? Wait, Yuma, listen. Issei felt like breaking down. Pervert-san? Rainier is busy again. I have to go too, Sue. Stay home, stay safe, kid. The call ended. His eyes widened in shock as tears threaded to come out in response to what he was feeling after that call. He clutched his head in pain as he slowly slid against the wall and landed down on his ass. Akano laughed as she witnessed all of it happening from the window above. She whipped away the imaginary tears in her eyes as she failed to contain her laughter. Come on, Akano. Don't laugh. In his moment of sorrow, Rias said to Akano as she also tried to contain her laugh. You know I can't help it when I see someone in pain. She gave her a toothy smile with a blush visible on her face. So now that the fallen is not going to kill the pervert, what are we going to do? Well, I guess I will have to confront him directly on joining my peerage. I will use his mood to my advantage. She smiled like a cat looking at its prize. Tell Kiba to call him to our club room after school, Akano. Of course. Bochu line break Rias released her breath as she comfortably sat on her chair in the clubroom. She had finally made Issei join her peerage. Granted, it was not that hard to convince him to join. She just told him he would have a harem if he joined her peerage, and with those words, he was already ready to throw his humanity away to become a devil. If she knew it was that easy to make him join her, she would have not waited this long. Hopefully he will get stronger to help her defeat the jackass. She leaned against her arm as she thought of what to do after her main objective being completed. I should go buy manga, and maybe not think too much of my shitty future, she thought as she got up her chair and made her way to the exit door. She just hoped the manga store had ordered new material. Kaniko's house. Kaniko looked at her naked self in the mirror as she tried to make her boobs look big by squeezing them together with her hands. Nothing changed much. A depressed cloud started to hover on top of her head. How was she going to get laid by her master if those cows were always swinging their udders against his face? Her boobs were not small, but compared to those women, she was just another ant to a lion. She looked at the clock on her desk to check how long it will take for her master to come back from buying his manga. She still had time to try out her new night lingerie for the purpose of getting her master horny. She started to put it on and checked back on the mirror. Was it going to drive her master mad with love? She hoped. She was about to take it off, but suddenly hands circled around her and pulled her closer. Kaniko smelled the scent and knew who it was. Her eyes grew blank as she frowned at who it was. Nya, ha ha ha. You look so cute, my dear Sharon. Kuroka squeezed her poor sister against her huge breast. Ni-san. Let me go, she quietly said as a blush started to form on her cheeks. This only made Kuroka squeeze her more. Having enough of the bullshit, she turned her head around and bit her sister's breast hard. Nya. She screamed in pain as she dropped Kaniko and started to massage her breast. It seemed to make Kaniko smile a little. Revenge tasted so sweet. Ni-san? I need your help, she asked her big sister as it seemed to make her stop rubbing her breast and start paying attention to what she is going to say. She hated asking help from her sister, but even she had to admit Kuroka was a master when it came to pulling down Naruto-sama's pants. Everything about Kuroka was made to attract her mate. Kaniko never liked it one bit. On the other side of the room, Kuroka looked at her sister with love as she was ready to help her sister in any way possible. I need your help in making Naruto-sama sleep with me. Kaniko looked down with a depressed look. Kuroka's eyes widened as a mischievous smile started to spread on her face. She has been waiting for this moment since ever. Imagining a threesome with her, Sharon and Naruto-sama started to make her red-faced and wet. Kaniko softly punched her sister on the head to make her snap out of it. You're at it again, Ni-san. She gave her a blank look as Kuroka looked sheepish. Sorry. So is this why you're trying out the lingerie? Kuroka asked as she began to zone in on Kaniko's body. A nosebleed started to form as Kuroka started to breath heavily with a deep blush. Kaniko, realizing what's happening, tried to cover her breast with her arms. You need help, Ni-san. Lots of it, don't judge me. Nya. She stuck out her tongue. Will you help me or not? Of course I will, but I can't since Naru-sama has been missing for the past week. She really needed her daily dose of milk. A cat needs to stay healthy after all. Oh, about that, his hiding here and just like that hell was let loose. Nya. Where? Kuroka started to look everywhere under the bed, the closet, and was about to search the other rooms until Kaneko punched her again in the head. He's not home yet, you damn cat. Oh, sorry Naya, she sheepishly said while rubbing her head. Sue. Oh right. Here Kuroka took out a small bottle containing pinkish liquid which she then handed her little sister. What's this? She gave her a puzzled look. I stole it from Office-sama, she used it on Naruto-sama to make him horny. Really? Did it work? Kaneko's eyes started to shine with hope. Let's just say there is a reason Office-sama was not seen for a few days, she started to laugh perversely. Thank you Ni-san. Kaneko gave her sister a hug. Finally, she was going to get laid. Anything for my little Sharon, just make sure you put few drops. Huh. Sure. Kaneko didn't pay mind to whatever Kuroka just said, she was busy looking at the veil. Kuroka looked at her sister with a blank look, just make sure you don't overdo it. Yes. Right. Kaneko made her way to the kitchen to prepare ramen for when Naruto comes back. Aw crap, what has she done? Oh well, no need to cry over spilled milk, she thought at the end with drool coming out. Manga store. Naruto squinted his eyes at the large bookcase trying to find the manga he was looking for. He brushed his fingers on the line of books until he stopped, finding the manga he was looking for. There it is, the new release. He took out the manga titled Shijo_Psycho_No_Mao_No_Shiso Tensai Shite Shisen Tachi no Gaku. It was a long-ass title, but it was still a good read. He opened the manga and started to browse what was inside it. The doorbell rang, signifying that someone entered. It was a curved, beautiful red head with blue-green eyes and kissable pink lips. Ria surveyed the room looking for the shelf with her favorite manga. She then moved to the bookcase with the manga, finding someone already standing next to it reading the manga she loved. He had bright golden hair looking like a crown for how unworldly handsome and majestic he looked. His deep blue eyes scanned her for a second, then gave her nod before going back to the book he was reading. Rias froze on her position, feeling hypnotized by the young man. Boy meets girl. She coughed softly in her hand and started looking at the bookcase for the replica of the book he was reading. The one I have is the last one, he told her softly while still reading. Aw, this sucks. I really wanted the new release, she signed. Sue, it's really good, huh? I'm not giving it to you, he blankly replied without looking at her. Would it change if I pay double the price to you? What makes you think I need money? He raised his right eyebrow at her. Rias rubbed her head for asking a stupid question. Anyone would say Naruto is rich by just looking at him. Now that she thought about it, this guy looked unnatural. No human could look this perfect and bewitching. Even a noble devil was not this good looking. She also could not sense anything from him. Even an ant could produce a presence, and this guy was not producing any. He must be restraining his power at a professional level. This day was getting more interesting for her. I'm sorry I didn't get your name. Naruto Uzumaki. Nice to meet you, Uzumaki-san. My name is Rias Gremory. Your brother shouts your name everywhere he goes. Also appreciate you just calling me Naruto. None of that san crap. He went back to the manga. Oh. I guess it's common knowledge in the underworld. Are you perhaps related to the Phoenix clan? Naruto-san. I mean Naruto. She hoped he was not. The Phoenix name left a bad taste in her mouth. Why the hell would I want to be a Phoenix? How else am I going to tap that lady Phoenix ass? He gave her a ridiculous look. What? She widened her eyes at him. Nothing. Story of another time. Okay. I really want her juicy ass though. I said I want some juice now. Oh. Would it be okay if treat you to some dinner? This would be her chance to get the book from him, and maybe learn a little bit from him. Free food. Count me in. It was always nice to learn more about the people who would be working for you in the future. Let's go then. Mission stealing manga book as a go. It didn't take long for them to reach a small restaurant called Junkie Spot with some small talk about anime during their way there. Finding a good spot inside, they went and sat waiting for the waitress to come and pick their order. Without waiting for too long, a brown-haired girl wearing a simple blue waitress uniform came up to them holding a notepad and a pen close to her face. She blushed as she looked at the blonde and red-haired couple in front of her, as she could not believe how beautiful they looked together and individually. She guessed game recognizes game. What can I get you? I mean, what would you like to order? She stuttered. Do you have ramen? Yeah, one bowl please, pork ramen if you have. Alright. What about madam? She looked at Rias. I will have a simple salad and steak. Alright. Your order will be ready not for long. She went away. Sue, Naruto. She got his attention as she secretly commanded her bat familiar behind Naruto to steal the book on the sit while he was distracted by her. Yeah. He looked at her. Have you watched the movie? She started the conversation, grabbing his attention. Naruto started listening until he saw something at the corner of his eyes next to his book but disappeared when he looked at the spot. Huh? What was that? He asked as he narrowed his eyes. What was what? She raised her eyebrow with a small smirk. It was so close. MHH. Nothing. Keep going with your bullshit story. Keep going. He changed his posture a little to grab the thing trying to steal his manga. Rias continued with her story, a smile spreading on her beautiful face. A few minutes would go by as Naruto tried to grab the bat, but every time he was close the thing would escape. Naruto, you're not commenting on what you think about the movie. She rested her face on her hand while giving him a sly look. He seemed flustered with the cat and mouse game between him and her familiar. I'm going to clap its ass like Ali when I catch it. He gritted his teeth, switching his attention between Rias and the book from time to time. Rias laughed softly in her hand, watching Naruto try to capture her bat. A drop of sweat trailed down his forehead as he focused again on Rias. The bat appeared again, slowly moving to his book. He flexed his hand, slowly waiting for the bat to get closer to his book. The bat got closer when it thought it had a chance to get the book for its master. Then Naruto with new speed grabbed it by the neck, making it cry out. Gat your bitch ass, he said, lifting it up to his eye level. Huh? Batman? Why you here? Are you still mad about me smashing the women back in your home world? He questioned the little bat. Rias gave him a blank look. No, that's my familiar. I told it to steal the book while you were distracted. She took the bat from Naruto's hand. Oh. Here he handed the book to her. I'm already done reading it anyway. Thank you very much, Naruto-kun. She blushed. I guess I owe you a favor. If you say so, he said as he looked at the waitress coming over to their table. She handed them their orders by placing them on the table. Thank you for the food, they both said at the same time, and started to dig in. Rias looked at Naruto, who was busy trying to shove as much as he can in his mouth. Naruto, can I have a bite of that? Let's see how he acts when he's teased. This? You want a bite of my ramen? He gave her a puzzled look. Why not? He slid the bowl to Ria's side of the table as she grabbed his chopsticks and took a bite of the ramen. She then started to make moans as she slowly chewed on the ramen. The people close by started to blush and others started to get nosebleed and fainting. Naruto's eyes widened at the display of what Rias was doing. She then used her tongue to lick the chopsticks, you ally, while not breaking eye contact with Naruto. Hey, why you eat like Scooby-Doo? Naruto cried out as he saw his food get messed up. Oh, sorry? That's what he saw. Rias looked at Naruto like he had grown a second head. The game was on. Hours later. Thanks for escorting me home, Naruto-kun. She thanked him, taking her back home. No problem. I should be going. He was about to turn around, but Rias stopped him. Wait. Visit me from time to time, okay? She moved closer to Naruto. I guess, he replied as he raised his eyebrow, watching Rias move her head closer and kissed his cheek. For your way home, she slyly smiled at him. Naruto gave her a blank look. He softly grabbed her cheek and pulled her into a huge kiss to the lips. Rias' eyes widened in surprise but got wider when she felt his tongue enter her mouth. Her eyes closed as she started to fall deeper into the kiss, and her blush intensified. Hey! Naruto called Rias, who was still frozen on the spot. He had ended the kiss seconds ago, but she was still in her own little world. Huh? Wow, you kissed me. She pointed a finger at him. I did. No one fucks with Naruto fucking Uzumaki and expect not to be paid back in full. He grinned while pointing his thumb to his chest. Anyway, good night, Rias. He vanished with no trace. His hands softly turned the doorknob, opening the door to his and Kaniko's house. Each step he took inside the house seemed to be filled with joy and a certain type of groove as he reminisced what he did to the poor Rias. Reaction on her face was priceless. He was going to sleep soundly tonight. As he made his way past the living room, his nose picked up a certain familiar smell coming from the kitchen. His mouth automatically salivated as he knew what was being cooked in the kitchen. He could never get tired of ramen. Reaching the kitchen, he found Kaniko wearing a cute cat-themed apron and standing on a small stool to easily reach and cook the ramen in the huge pot. Welcome home, Naruto-sama. Take a sit. I made ramen for dinner, she said softly as she started to put the food in a bowl. Grabbing a pair of chopsticks, Naruto impatiently sat on the chair and waited for Kaniko to put his serving on the table. Thank you, Kaniko-chan. He kissed her cheek, earning a small blush from her after she had filled his bowl with ramen. Itadakimasu. He said a small prayer and started to dig in. Wow. This is really good, Kaniko. He praised her. Well, I did put in a special ingredient for you, Naruto-sama. She smiled darkly as he seemed to not notice and continued to staff in as much ramen as he could. This was the only way to get him, with a potion. Kuroka on the other hand looked on from the room with wide eyes, as Naruto didn't realize he was taking in a potion which was equivalent to Viagra on steroids. Kaneko didn't seem to spare any leftovers from the bottle she gave her. I hope you forgive this poor cat, Naruto-sama, she said a small prayer as she continued to observe what was happening. As Naruto continued to inhale the noodles, his face started to suddenly heat up. This seemed to finally make him stop and notice the hard tent pitched in his pants. Swallowing some saliva, he looked at Kaneko, who licked her lips as her cat-like ears perked up. Kaneko, what did you put in this ramen? He nervously asked as his breath started to get lagged. I'm tired of waiting, Naruto-sama. I have taken this situation in my hands. She grabbed his dick, making his breath hitch. Well, that's what she thought until she realized he disappeared into thin air. Rats. She angrily punched the counter into dust, far into another universe. Planet O259S, also known the Garden, was a planet covered up with a huge garden with different plants of all types, and also one of the planets owned by the blonde god himself, after bargaining with some celestial being of the universe. The planet was looked after by one of his devoted servants. This was done frequently for the garden to remain healthy, and today was no exception, as the beautiful female servant roamed around the huge garden checking for any errors in her work. She was a redhead with pale green skin and wearing a tight green suit, which showed her hourglass figure well. She brushed the leaves gently as the plants seemed to cheer in her presence. Don't worry, my loves. Your mother is here for today's checkup. She smiled gently as she continued to stroll around the huge garden. Her posture suddenly stopped in shock as she immediately felt a familiar presence of power appearing at her cabin. Master? She questioned as she started to run to the direction of the house and opened the door with force. Master. Her eyes widened with joy as she tackled Naruto to the floor. Ivy, you're killing me, he gasped out as he tried to pull her off him. What are you doing here? She asked as she kissed him all over his face. I got a problem, and was wondering if you have some plants to help me. His sweat dropped as he gestured down his lower body. Oh? Oh, she licked her lips as she grabbed his member, making him jolt. I don't think I have the herbs strong enough to help you, master, but I think I can reduce the stress, she whispered huskily in his ear. He sighed. He may as well greet his cute servant for not visiting her enough. Line break. Hours later, Ivy screamed as she orgasmed again and collapsed on Naruto's chest after raiding him aggressively. She moaned in bliss as she felt him pumping his seed into her womb. Now that you're thinking clearly, he said while looking dryly at the exhausted Ivy laying on his chest. Do you have the herbs to help me? He asked her as his member was still up and strong. It would take me some days for me to be able to evaluate and grow the specific plant for you. Big problem. Whatever your kitten servant gave you was celestial level, she huffed out as she looked like she was about to pass out due to their recent activities. Fuck. Well, I guess I will just have to ask someone else then, he sighed again as he got up from the bed. Are you leaving so soon, master? Her face saddened at the thought of not being close to him again. Yeah. I have to take care of this problem fast. I will make sure to take you on my next adventures next time. All right, he gave her a reassuring smile. Finache sighed in defeat. Oh. By the way, some powerful alien asked me if he could live on your planet. He was offering that. She weakly pointed at a wooden box which had a gold gauntlet with different colored stones on it. Oh, he raised his eyebrow in interest. Tell Papa Smurf he can stay. He just has to make sure his problems don't affect me. He rubbed his hair in worry as he sealed the gauntlet. He should probably return this thing to his Yendir wife. He shuddered at the thought of visiting her again. Last time he was with her, she found it out he had bunch of female servants ready to do anything for him. She was not thrilled. He practically had to hide them in his soul before she killed them all. Master. She called out the blonde head, who seemed to have zoned out and going through some unpleasant flashbacks. What? He blinked, getting back to the world. I was wondering who you will be asking for help. She gestured to his dick. Right. I was going to ask Rick. I have something to pick up from him anyways, he replied, giving Ivy a gentile kiss and vanishing. A family of 5 sat around a dining table eating comfortably with the silence lingering in the air. The family was comprised of an old man with light blue hair and wearing a lab coat to show he was a scientist. He was sitting at the head chair, while at the opposite of the table was also a man with short brown hair. The ones sitting at the sides of the table were 2 women with blonde hair and orange respectively, while the other person was a kid with the same shade of hair as his dad, brown. So, I thought of an idea. I can make money with the man suddenly said to his family to spark a conversion, but was clearly ignored as they had the focus elsewhere, his wife included. He cleared his throat and tried to voice again but was immediately shot down by the old man. Shut up, Jerry. No one wants to hear your stupid ideas. Besides, it's clear that Beth makes enough money to support the whole family without your help. Dadbeat, he whispered the last part, but everyone around the table still heard it, making Jerry depressed. Now come on, Dad. I'm sure Jerry will find something. He has a passion about. Beth defended her husband, making him smile at her for the save. Yeah. Just like you, Mom. Your passion is saving horses, right? Summer intervened with a laugh, making Beth narrow her eyes at her, which seemed to immediately shut her up. Rick also seemed to not like that comment from Summer but refrained from saying anything. He then looked at his grandson, who seemed to be in his own world as he ate his eggs. So Morty, wanna come with me on another Rick and Morty adventure, he said, gesturing with his raised hand after dropping his fork on the plate. Sorry Rick, busy with something else today. Gat stuff. He stumbled on his words, trying to come up with an answer to his grandfather. Why don't you take, Lee, like Summer on your adventure for a while? You know, he pointed at his orange-haired sister. Yeah, Granddad, it's been a while since we went on adventure. Rick and Summer style, she happily supported Morty's idea. Besides, I'm much more useful than this idiot. She pointed at his little brother, making him slump. Geez, Summer, you don't have to act like a bitch about it, he responded at her. Yeah, shut up, Summer, it's only Rick and Morty. Rick supported his grandson. Besides, I need someone who is not complicated in making decisions. I require a simpleton. Hey. This seemed to displease both Summer and Morty, but Rick only shrugged at it. Let's go, Morty. He pulled Morty out of his chair and forcefully led him to the garage. Rick. I said I have something to do. He forcibly broke Rick's grip on his wrist. What? Do you have that's more important, Morty? He asked with a raised eyebrow. Like stuff, Rick. I need some Morty time. He quickly disappeared around the door, escaping Rick. Little bastard, Rick sighed as he was not so willing to go on adventure without his grandson. It felt lonely. You're quite the sad man. Richard, a voice suddenly broke the silent atmosphere of the garage, surprising Rick from his thoughts. Who's there? He whipped his head around, finding a young blonde sitting on the table. He does his work. Naruto? He narrowed his eyes at the blonde head. You don't seem happy to see me, he chuckled as he got up from the table. Well, every time you visit, you always bring me problems, he hissed as he brought out a jar full of ash and threw it at the blonde, who caught it. What's this? He gazed at the jar, feeling Rick's presence. That's my ash. Your wife came and asked me for a device to locate your whereabouts. Did you give her a device? Of course. I had to get rid of her fast as everything around her started to decay, he said while taking out a flask from his coat and took a sip from it. Fuck me. His head dropped at his problems piling up. What are you, doing here? He asked, dropping himself on the work chair. Well, I took something and now I have this. It won't go down, he pointed at his tent in the pants. For fuck's sakes, Naruto. I'm not a doctor. I'm a scientist. He took another shot from his flask, making him burp. Same thing. Can you fix me or not? He scratched his head. Fine. He suddenly took a cylinder with a needle, which he immediately used to prick Naruto's arm. OWW, he sarcastically reacted to Rick's action. Don't be a baby about it. He inserted the cylinder with Naruto's blood in some container device, which started to light up. It will take me some hours to make a cure. I have to wait for the device to break down your blood, he commented as he started to focus on tinkling on something else. Hours? Are you the scientist here? He turned his head at him. No? That's what I thought. He went back to tinkling. He was clearly still bitter at Morty leaving. Did you finish the little device I wanted, the one which gave you a game interface view? He nervously laughed as he wanted to get out of Rick's space. It's in jar labeled Naruto, in the box. He pointed behind him. Thanks. I can finally have that isekai experience. He wasted no time looking into the box, finding the jar. He opened it, finding nothing in it. He shook the jar, hoping for a sound of an item bouncing inside. Nothing happened. There is nothing in here. There is a blue pill inside. Check again. He narrowed his eyes at him. Nothing still. He deadpanned at him as he gave Rick the box. What? He rampaged inside the box, not finding the pill. That little shit. He dropped the box angrily. Who? Goddamn it, Morty. The little shit took the pill. That's why he didn't want to go with me. He got up from his chair. We are going to have to look for him before he does something stupid. The memory of Morty spreading an epidemic last time came to mind. So where is he? He asked, also a little salty about Morty taking his stuff. It was hard to make Rick agree to do something, building something weird nonetheless. Honestly, he was just impatient. Gods had all the time, my ass. He took my portal gun. You're going to have to look for him here, while I track his portal history. He pushed Naruto out of the garage. Wah. Wait a min. Also don't do anything to Beth. He slammed the door with Naruto outside. I'm going to pay you back for this, Rick, he sighed, making his way out the exit door. Oh. Mr. Naruto, I didn't know you were here. Beth immediately got up her chair as she saw Naruto passing by. Or Beth. Yeah, I was just here for Richard. I have some stuff too. Dohei replied as he stopped to look at Beth and her family members at the table. I see the self-proclaimed god is here to grace us with his presence, Jerry quoted with his fingers as he clearly didn't like Naruto. Fuck off, Jerry. I don't have time to deal with your existence. He leaned against the doorframe. Hey Summer, he lazily waved his hand at her with a small smile. Hey Naruto, if you're staying for some time, Juan. I better go now. Nice seeing you guys. He cut her off as he wasted no time to make his way out the exit door. Well, he was in a rush, Jerry said as they heard the sound of the door closing. Yeah. Running from you, Summer. Beth laughed at her daughter's luck. Shut up, Mom. Linebreak High School. May as well search for him here, Naruto thought as he made his way inside the building. He saw lots of teens moving about as they tried to do their daily task. They would widen their eyes when he passed by, with females blushing after taking a good look at him. He ignored it all as he tried to look for the brown-haired boy until his eyes locked in on a cute girl with orange hair more reddish than Summer. Wasn't she Morty's crush? Or so he heard. Morty has done a lot of crazy stuff to date her but all failed. Quite sad. He may as well teach him a reason for stealing his stuff. He was a god after all, and he fancied her with the potion running in his veins. Redheads, right? His Sue handsome, right? Jessie, a girl with shoulder-length brown hair, dark eyes and wearing a white shirt with a checker miniskirt, said to her friend who was also biting her lower lip admiring the blonde stranger. Do you think he's a transfer student, Amy? Jessica asked as she still could not take her eyes off him. I hope he's looking at us. His coming here, Amy panicked as she whispered at Jessica. Calm down. Jessica also panicked a little. Hey, Naruto. The blonde introduced himself with a handshake after reaching them. Jessica and my friend here is Trisha. They both took his handshake. Naruto, quite the exotic name. I haven't seen you here before, Jessica asked him with a blush as he smiled at them. Yeah, it's Japanese, I was just visiting my friends and I was looking for Morty. I thought I could find him here. You're friends with Morty? Trisha raised her eyebrow. Summer's loser brother? I guess. I'm friends with his grandfather. We were looking for him. Nah, Ruto, Morty hasn't been in school for a week, Jessica answered him. Oh, would you like to help me look for him around town? I will make it worthwhile if you help me, he nervously asked them, his deep blue eyes shining like a puppy's. I don't know, sure we will, Trisha cut off Jessica, grabbing Naruto's left arm and leading him out. Trisha. You bitch, Jessica immediately hugged Naruto's right arm, not willing to lose a potential Adonis boyfriend to a slut like Trisha. Line break. Naruto and the two girls had fun, walked around the town as Naruto seemed to be open with his money spending. Trisha also seemed to get more daring with Naruto as the time passed by, causing Jessica to also try her hand. At the end of the day, it was more of a threesome date instead of them looking for Morty. Besides, Naruto had already searched with his presence around the planet and didn't find Mort's signal. Also, he really didn't know how Morty's presence was like because they seemed to be a billion of them in this universe alone. He was not going to waste his time looking for him. It's getting dark, Naruto aimlessly said as he looked at the setting sun. The sky started to capture the golden rays of the sun. They had went to the beach for some fun. Morty may have been at the beach too. He needed to search at all. They had chose to swim at the far end of the beach as there were less people. Most people never went there as it was dangerous, but thankfully they had Naruto. He showed them he was not human and they easily accepted as they had seen more weird shit, thanks to Rick's activities. The two girls got out of the ocean and sat close next to Naruto, water droplets streaming down their bodies with only the lingerie hiding their precious places. Trisha had nice tits, he thought as Trisha pushed her body next to him, saying something about being cold. He circled his hand around Jessica's waist, noticing how wide her hips were. She blushed at his move but didn't resist as she got closer to him. I should probably drop you guys home, he got up, offering a hand to get them up. Already? Trisha widened her eyes, not liking how the time flied. What were we supposed to be doing again? Jessica asked as she was putting back her clothes. She brushed some of the sand off on her skirt. Morty. He may be home by now, he rubbed his head. Come on, I will teleport us. We should drop Trisha first. Her dad is a pastor, Jessica smirked at Amy. Why? Well played, Trisha grinded her teeth. Why did she have to have a restricting father? Now Jessica will have alone time with the stud. Line break. After dropping Trisha at her place, she daring quickly kissed him at the corner of his lips and went inside the house, Few minutes later it left him and Jessica at her doorstep. My mom is not here. Wanna come in? She grabbed his arm, not really waiting for him to decide much on the option. Would love to. She lead him inside the house to the coach. He dropped his body on the coach in exhaustion. Want anything? A drink? She was a little nervous. This was actually the first time she invited a boy to her house. It's okay. I can do this. Remember, he snapped his fingers and a bowl of popcorn appeared on the table. Right. Forgot she was messing up. God, she was embarrassing herself. Come here. He pulled her into his arms. I didn't know you were this shy. He laughed softly, making her heart miss a beat. She narrowed her eyes and pushed him down the coach with force. She then got on top of him and sat on his waist. Do I look shy now? She smirked at him as she got closer to his face. No, he growled out as he brushed her thighs with his hands, making her moan a little. They both locked eyes, both admiring each other. Jessica got lost in his deep blue eyes while Naruto liked her pretty face and pale skin. They both softly kissed each other on the lips with a string of saliva connecting their lips. Netflix and chill? He brushed her hair back. Red was still his weakness, it seemed. Sorry about earlier. I'm not usually like that. It's just that I didn't want to lose to Amy. It's okay. We can stop if you want. No. Let's see where this go. She kissed him again, this time taking longer as they battled with their tongues. She grinded her hips, feeling something hard in his pants. She moved back, looking at the big tent peached up. Sorry. Was holding myself back for a while now. Then don't. She put her hand under his pants and grabbed his cock, making him hitch his breath. This is actually my first time. Do you feel good? She asked him as she stroked his cock after taking it out of his pants. Yeah, he smiled at her as she continued to stroke him. Let me take over. He turned her over, making him be on top. Do you still want to continue? He whispered huskily in her ear. A little late asking that with your dick out and my panties wet, don't you think? She answered while rubbing his toned stomach. Every muscle was in the right place. Safe word as ramen. He took of her panties. Ramen? Really? Fine. Please go easy on me. She laughed at his weirdness. We'll see. Omega, line break TV. Man vs. Car, the newest heat show where it puts a man. Yeah versus a car. On tonight's episode, Michael Jenkins fights a regular old school bus. Here we go. Or he's pushing his way through. He's trying to fight the bus, but the bus seems to have the upper hand. He's got a little bit of pushback there. Oh. No, he just got ran over and chewed up by the bus. He's definitely not getting up anytime soon because he has no bones. They all got crushed. And so another win by the cars. I mean, wouldn't the cars always win? Both commentators laugh. Rick, sitting on the coach, changes the channel. Samantha, I need to know that you understand that I have a couple of eye holes. Here I do. I do understand. Look, I also have a couple of eye holes. Oh, my God. You have 8 eye holes. Rick takes a glance at the door, seeing Morty coming in. Morty. Yo, your little shit. Why did you steal my stuff? He got up, grabbing Morty by the shirt. Ah, geez, Rick. I didn't take anything. Morty tried to struggle, but Rick had a good grip on him. Don't lie to me, Morty. I know it was you. You took the pill. Admit it. He started to shake Morty back and forth. Alright. Okay, it was me. I took the pill, Rick. It was for fun. Well, then you better give it back. Naruto is not happy. What? Morty's eyes widen. Oh ho ho, Morty. Something bad will happen, Morty. Something real bad. Naruto. He's a god. He doesn't like when someone takes his stuff, Morty. Ah geez, is he going to kill me, Rick? Oh no, Morty. He's going to pay you back, Morty. He's going to do something. What is he going to do? I saw him going to your school, Morty. He's probably after Jessica, Morty. He's going to fuck your crush, Morty. Oh, we have to stop him, Rick. Is he going to rape her? Morty started to hyperventilate. Oh no, Morty. He will charm her, Morty. He has godly drip. He can bag a girl like that in a day, Morty. You have seen his handsome face, Morty. It's the godly drip. I have to stop him, Rick. Jessica, she is my crush. He's probably pounding her as we spec, Morty. He can make a girl faint due to orgasms, Morty. He doesn't play around with Morty. His god. They sing songs about him, Morty. It's a catch song, Morty. Morty didn't want to hear any of it anymore, and rushed to the exit door. He grabbed the door forcefully and opened it, getting ready to rush at Jessica's house, but stopped when he saw someone standing at the doorway. Oh hey, Morty. You're finally home. Naruto messed Morty's hair while getting in the house. Went out looking for you. I guess. I probably should have just waited here. He awkwardly rubbed the back of his head as he could sense some weird vibes in the air. Ah no. I was just playing around with Morty here. I finished the cure though. He handed Naruto a small glass bottle with green liquid. Just drink that, thanks Rick. Is Morty okay? He looked at Morty who liked he just had a heart attack. Ah, yeah. I played a prank on him. Well, take it easy little buddy. He sent some comforting energy to Morty to get him to relax, which seemed to work as the boy started to breathe normally. Thanks Naruto. Rick really gives me a tough time yo. You know. Morty dragged himself to the coach rubbing his head. Well, I should be going now. I hope you can make the pill thing again Rick, and please cut the boy some slack, he said as he vanished. Boy, you really fell for that Morty. Rick laughed as he joined Morty on the coach. Geez, Rick, really had me there. He joined Rick in the laughing. And omake at the end, you guys be dodging my author writing. This was probably one of the hardest chapters I have written. The characters in Rick and Morty are so unique with different speech patterns, it was quite challenging. I wanted to show that Naruto is not just some god of earth, but a god who travels different universes and has fun doing it. He's also a little petty and has a lot of pride. He's a god, no asterisk, no. Also by now I hope you're getting the Easter eggs, I hope. Looking for that new Naruto X Jujutsu Kaisen story. People are really not going for it, huh, me included. And maybe some Naruto X new anime, maybe the Demon Lord Anos, slumps in sadness. Or how to not summon a Demon Lord, solo leveling anyone. God, I don't remember the last time I watched anime. I have been consuming a lot of manga and Korean stuff, since 2 years ago or later. Omake, Morty's high school. Morty sighed as he put some books in his locker. Never thought I would be glad to be back in school, he smiled closing the locker. Rick finally left him to have some sort of school life for today. He started to make his way to his class but stopped when he spotted Jessica making her way in the hallway with her friends. Jessica, his face morphed into a love-sick puppy. Morty? Morty? Jessica called him as he still seemed to be in his little world. Jessica. Morty widened his eyes. Hey Morty, she giggled in her hand. Hey Jessica, Naruto came yesterday looking for you. Oh, we met back home. Oh great then. Well, I guess I should be going. See you later loser. Trisha pulled Jessica away with her. Bye Jessica. He waved his hand like a puppet. He had it bad. Morty could not notice the small limp Jessica had as she walked away with Trisha helping her to walk properly. Are you going to tell me what happened with you and Naruto? Trisha asked her friend. She still had a hard time pronouncing his name. I don't know. The only thing I remember was him taking my versus card and then it was all blank. Memory a little fuzzy. The school bell rang. Thanks for watching.